Welcome, sports fans, to the 1996 World Taekwondo Festival. I'm your host for today's event, Stephen Sills, and today's event will be featuring a dozen of the world's finest Taekwondo competitors. To add color to today's show, I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Tim Connolly, four-time U.S. national team member and former world silver medalist. How are you doing today, Tim?
Good, Steve. I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here, and we've got a lot of excitement ahead of us. We've got all world champions competing against one another. You don't find this anywhere.
I understand that we have a team of world champions comprised of athletes from the United States, from Mexico, and from Spain, all pitted against Korea. What can you say about that?
Well, the prime example is our first match here. We've got Korea, Chung Tae-soon. He's our most current world champion from Manila, Philippines, and he's competing against Rafael Zuniga, who's a 94, 96 World Cup World Cup gold medalist and a 1993 World bronze medalist. Unfortunately, he broke his arm from a fall.
I understand that he was winning by 6 or 7 points at that time, back in '93 in Madison Square Garden, New York City.
Yeah, he was quite a bit ahead in points and just had a nasty fall and unfortunately broke his arm.
Well, let's turn our attention to the match underway now between Chung of Korea and Rafael Zuniga of Mexico.
Once again, we've got two world champions going at it here. Both of them not holding back any techniques, trying to set the tone for the rest of the match.
Now, it appears to me that we have Korea wearing the blue torso protector and Spain in the red. Can you tell me what it feels like to be hit hard when you're wearing that torso protector?
Well, we call it actually chest protector, but I would say it's more of you for scoring because it doesn't offer much protection when you're fighting at a world-class level. The kicks just kind of make their way right through it.
So what would be a point in this type of match?
Point textbook would be a trembling shock. Any contact that would make trembling shock with the instep of the foot to the chest protector area or the head area.
I understand that trembling shock would be defined by an abrupt displacement of the contestant who is struck.
Right, if it moves his body, he falls down or makes a big noise, they're going to score that as a point. You see right now they're trying to feel each other out, a little strategy.
A little bit of a side kick or cut kick motion.
Right, tries to shut him down.
Now what about contact to the facial area? Is that allowed?
Sure, any contact to the face is allowed. To score a point, you have to actually turn the head, or if they even knock their opponent out, then they'll win.
Now it looks like the referee is chastising one of the contestants here.
He's giving Korea a half-point deduction for pushing.
Not
right
allowed.
into the end of the round.
And we are at the end of round one. We have the Mexican contestant consulting with his coach.
Right, we've got the coach from Mexico, Hong Un-suk, and our Korean coach, which is Kim Jae-young. Kim Jae-young, for everybody's reference, also is our most current world champion in the heavyweight division. He's two-time world champion and an Olympic gold medalist. Incredible fighter.
That kind of coach would certainly inspire confidence with his athletes, wouldn't you say?
By all means, all these athletes, even the competitors from the other teams, have a lot of respect for that man.
Now, what do you think's on their mind while they're just standing and bouncing, watching one another?
Right, Taekwondo's kind of like kinetic chess. They're feeling each other out. If I do this, you're going to do this, and if you do this, then I'm going to do this. They're 3 or 4 moves out, so they're waiting for the attack and the counters.
Now, that to me just looked like a slip.
Right, the mat they're using tends to be a little bit slippery.
Now, I understand that that competition area is relatively large, maybe larger than it looks on TV. That competition area is 8 meters square, which is approximately 39 feet. And you can see how quickly these contestants can cover that entire distance.
Right, see right there, Korea tries to go to their headshot and follows up with a triple kick.
Multiple kicking techniques and an attempted head kick by Mexico.
Yeah, a lot of the strategy, if one competitor, here we go, another warning for celebrating.
Now, what was that gesture?
Well, you get a half-point deduction for sometimes, a lot of times, a competitor will actually kick and then celebrate the point, like, yeah, got a great point, and that's not allowed in the competition. So you notice he has 2 half-point deductions, which will now cost him 1 full point.
So that type of celebration is intended to influence the judges, I would think, and that's why it's a prohibited act?
Sure. What you want to do is, if you feel like you scored a good point, then you want to just, and show the judges.
Kind of like spiking the football after making a touchdown, I'd say.
There you go.
And that's prohibited as well, I believe.
Korean knows he's down 1 point, so he's trying to come back.
Referee stops the action when a contestant places one or both feet out of bounds.
That's correct.
Seems to be the end of the match. Athletes showing respect to one another.
It's one sport where you see it's actually combat. They're actually trying to possibly knock each other out, and at the end of the match, they'll hug each other and have smiles on their faces.
Now it looks like the Korean contestant went over and paid his respects to the coach of the opposing side. And we have a narrow 1 point defeat. Mexico, Rafael Zuniga over Chung Tae-soon of Korea. We'll be right back after this.